Hi, I'm Bill from Guitar Center. If you like the sound of a big box dreadnought guitar, then you're going to love what I'm going to show you today, and that's the Gibson Hummingbird. The Gibson Hummingbird is made in Bozeman, Montana. It's an iconic guitar. It was first introduced in 1960, and it's remained a staple in the Gibson acoustic line ever since. It's been played by everybody and anybody who's famous over these decades. This is a short scale guitar. So a lot of guitars run about 25 and a quarter inches in length from the nut to the saddle. This one is 24 3/4. Doesn't sound like very much, but it gives it a very different feel and a very different tone. If you were to put a long scale neck on this same body, it would sound quite a bit different because there's a difference in tension between long scale and short scale. The body is solid tropical American mahogany. Look at the grain on this piece of wood. This is awesome, how straight and even it is. This is a beautiful piece of wood. The neck is also made of tropical American mahogany, and it's one solid piece. Looking at the front of the guitar, the top is solid Sitka spruce. The fingerboard and bridge on this guitar are made of rosewood. The rings around the sound hole, called the rosette, are of a multi-ring design, and that design is inlaid into the top wood. The body binding is an ivory-colored plastic binding. On both the back and the top, just inside the binding, are additional layers of black and white material called purfling. The purfling accents the look of the binding and the top. On the fingerboard, we see some great looking inlays called parallelogram inlay pattern. This is an iconic style for inlays on Gibson guitars. If we look at the headstock, we see a couple of things. First of all, it has a black overlay. If we look at the side of the headstock, you can see the extra layer on top of the mahogany neck. Continuing our look at the headstock, you'll see that the Gibson logo and the inlay below it are inlaid mother of pearl. The back of the headstock is where we find the tuners. These are Grover tuners. These are probably the strongest tuners in the industry. Inside that housing are gears that are pre-lubricated in grease, sealed forever, and they'll last forever. I know while I've been talking, you've been looking at the pickguard. Let's talk about it. That's where the guitar gets its name. What do we see first? A hummingbird and other designs on this pickguard. This pickguard's made a unique way. It's not just a sheet of plastic with the design silk screened on it and stamped off on some machine. No, this guitar has these design components laid into a mold, and then the pickguard material itself is poured in when it's molten, and it dries into this beautiful pickguard. The Hummingbird comes equipped with LR Baggs electronics. Very clean. There's no hole in the side of the guitar because inside the sound hole is a single volume control. The finish on all Gibson acoustic guitars is nitrocellulose lacquer. It is a very thin material. Takes a lot of coats to get to a high gloss finish like this. But it still, after all those coats, remains very, very thin. A thin finish is good because it allows the guitar to resonate, and all the rich tone of this mahogany and spruce comes thundering out the sound hole to please you and your audience. The Gibson Hummingbird comes in a Gibson hardshell case. You can play the Gibson Hummingbird at a Guitar Center store near you, or check it out online at guitarcenter.com.